The prospect pool overviews are going to continue on today with the Dallas Stars. We move on this list. And Dallas, I am sorry to say, it's not a good prospect pool. I'm going to be outright here. There are maybe 2 or 3 guys who I can see having legitimate impacts in the NHL. Maybe. They may not even be with Dallas. Apart from that, I don't really see much coming out of this Stars prospect pool. Let's hop right in, starting off with Emil Hemming, who I think is their best prospect. Had a solid first year with the Barrie Colts this past year, 48 points in 60 games played. He was born in Vasa, Finland. He's a right wing, 6'2", 196 pounds. He was drafted 29th overall in 2024. He had a good World Junior, that's from what I can tell. Played solid with Finland, but was very average in the OHL. Wasn't a year that really kind of popped out to you. But again, it was his first year in North America. I do think he has some middle six upside when he gets there. He has a good shot, good offensive skill. He's got that IQ that most kids at his age don't tend to have. I do think that Hemming is going to be an NHLer. I just don't know if it's going to be anything more than a middle sixer. At best, a second liner. But on Dallas's core, if he's even on Dallas, he's probably more or less going to be a third liner. I think there's really nothing more than that. Just not going to be that great, to be honest with you. So Hemming, we'll see, but probably their best prospect. Justin Herkoyen, I believe I'm saying that right, was born in L'Île Bizard, Quebec, is 5'10". I don't know why I saw 6'10". 5'10", 194 pounds. He was undrafted but signed by the Dallas Stars. He played 67 games this past year with Texas, had 22 goals for 60 points. Very respectful year. It was enough to be an NHLer this year. Played 5 games with Dallas as well. Had an assist. He wasn't too bad. He played center/left wing, or he can play center/left wing. I don't know a ton about him, but that just shows the credit that Dallas can have in their American Hockey League. They turned somebody who was undrafted in the NHL and was signed by Dallas and turn him into a gem who played games this past year. I think that really is important. Again, he spent a lot of time with Northeastern University, where he put up some decent numbers. I think he got an AHL contract with Texas in 2023-24, and then was signed to an NHL deal by the Stars. But he was somebody who, again, undrafted, and then was signed, developed through their AHL program, and went into the NHL. There's a couple of guys that are like that throughout the Stars prospect pool, like R2 Harai, who we'll get into here in a little bit, was also undrafted. I knew there was another one. But still, Herkoyen could be a decent fourth liner. I'm not expecting him to be anything more than that. He did have good numbers in the AHL, but that doesn't always mean he's going to translate them to the NHL. I think he can be, though, a good fourth liner or a good extra forward for the Dallas Stars if he is playing a legitimate role next year. Let's hope for the best there with him. But Herkoyen, not a lot of upside, but still was, I guess, a diamond in the rough. Cameron Schmidt is a project, to say the least. He is a right wing born in Edmonton, Alberta, 5'8", 161 pounds, was drafted 94th overall in this past year's draft. He played 61 games with the Stars, or with the Giants in Vancouver, not the Stars. Had 40 goals and 78 points. He has one of the better shots in the NHL. I saw even on the Hockey News' draft comp saying that this guy might have the second best shot in the draft, which is wild. You got him in the 3rd round. The problem is, though, with that, he's still incomplete. He's a project, from what I can tell. He's still a ways away from becoming a legitimate, actual NHLer, but he does have some upside. I think that there is some top 6 potential in there for sure. Possibly, maybe at his best. But Schmidt, with that shot, he should make the NHL. Again, if you're ranked with the second best shot in elite prospects in the Hockey News, you should be able to get into the NHL. But there's a lot of other things that are in his game that need to be worked on. But in time, again, this is his first year since being drafted, so I think he has definitely room to improve. We'll probably see him in the WHL for another season and then come over to Texas. But we'll see. Again, Schmidt, I'm actually pretty high on, and I think that he has some upside to do some good in the NHL. Now, I got to be careful here how I say this guy's name because, again, it's not Tyler Bertuzzi is what I'm keep thinking it is. It's Tristan Bertuzzi, who's a defenseman from Vaughan, Ontario, is 6'2", 187 pounds, was drafted 61st overall in 2023, has 52 games this past year with Barrie, had 37 points. He does have a real future in the NHL. I think that really is there. This guy's one of the higher ranked prospects that doesn't really get talked about. Again, has good skill. He plays good, decent offense. The thing that I think he needs to work on, though, more is his just defense. I think there's a few small things with his overall defense that I think you can work on, but I'm actually pretty high on Bertuzzi as well. I think he does have legitimate upside in the NHL. I just don't know where that's going to be. He has a left shot. Dallas's need is not necessarily on the left shot side, if I'm thinking correctly. But yeah, I think Bertuzzi definitely has NHL upside. He's just still a little ways away. I do expect, hopefully, for him... Oh, I did not mean to do that. For him to make the jump over to the AHL next year. I'm hoping for that to happen. Aram Minitian is a defenseman who just completed his second year with Boston College. He's a right shot defender. He's from Woodcliff Lake, New Jersey. 5'11", 194 pounds. He was drafted 125th overall 2 years ago in 2023. So the same draft as Bertuzzi. He again put up 15 points in 35 games played in his second year with Boston College. He's a good puck mover and actually played in the World Juniors this past year, which is very good experience. He was that guy on that third pairing for Team USA. He didn't do a ton necessarily, but still did pretty decent, to be honest with you, for this Team USA team. So I'm very excited to see what's going to happen here. Aram, I'm looking forward to if he's going to make the jump. I think he plays another year in Boston College, though. But again, we shall see what's going to happen there with him. Now, this, I have to say, is a very intriguing name. Mangos. Anyways, he was born in Västerås, Sweden. It doesn't really correspond with each other at all. I'm just being a child. 6'5", 198 pounds. Actually pretty good size. Was drafted 158th overall in this past year's draft. In his time with Farjestad BKJ20, he was 11-12, a 3.17, and a .893. He has a raw potential, but he really does have that NHL-sized body, which if he takes a couple of years in development and actually plays in the SHL next season, I think there's a chance that we could see him as a potential NHL-rated defender, but we're a ways away from that. And again, I know I say that with every single goaltender we talk about, but I do think Mangos has a lot of upside to be an NHLer just because of his size. I think there's a lot of things that need to be worked on, but he has the size to be an NHLer, and I think that's really going to work out for him in the future. Overall, not terribly high on him. We'll see how it goes. I'll be following his development in the years to come when we do other prospect pool overviews down the road. But Mangos, not too bad. We'll see how he does in the future. Looking at some of the other prospects here in the pool, Arttu Hairi, who spent his first year this past year with the Stars after being undrafted, got signed by the team, put up 49 points in 67 games played with Texas alongside Hirokian, which is very respectable. I think, again, that's actually pretty good numbers. And he even got a call-up to the NHL this past year. So that's very good on him. Nilo-Pekka Muhonen, I believe I'm saying that right, won a WHL championship with the Medicine Hat Tigers, put up 17 points, playing defense there with him. He was a 5th-round pick in 2024. Brandon Gorzinski, a 4th-round pick this past year, 42 points in 68 games played with the Calgary Hitmen, put up some good numbers there in the playoffs as well. He's from Scottsdale, Arizona. With his size, there's some upside there. You also have Angus McDonald, who was drafted in 2023, just finished up his 5th year in the OHL, put up 54 points in 46 games played, also played in the playoffs as well. And then Ate Yoki, who was a 5th-round pick in this past year's draft. His stats aren't even available on HockeyDB, but he put up 32 points in 40 games played with Lukko in the minor leagues in Sweden. And that being said, here is the Stars prospect pool rankings. As you can tell, you got the top 3 guys who I was very high on at the top 3, Hemming, Bertuzzi, and Schmidt. Those are the 3 guys that I think have a legitimate shot at actually being in the NHL. Hirokian and Harai were undrafted players who had a pretty good season this past year with Texas. They rank higher on the pool just because there's not a lot of variety in this pool. And then Minitian, Gorzinski, Muhonen, Yoki, and Guz round out the bottom 5. Not terribly high on those guys. Minitian we may see in the NHL a little bit, but overall that bottom 5 is more or less guys who are going to take a little bit / won't make the NHL. Again, I spoke highly on Mance Guz, but again, we got to be realistic here. But that is your prospect pool overview for the Dallas Stars. Not a great prospect pool, and I'm not surprising anybody by saying that. When you are a Stanley Cup contender, you're not going to have a good prospect pool. I don't think I'm surprising anybody there by saying those things. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to like down below and subscribe if you are new. But anyways, that is it for me. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.